So next session for today is eradication of worries. Hopefully we are able to hear me properly. So let's start with what are worries, why it happens, what aggravates the worries, and how do we approach it. All right. Worries, we have been all through for different kind of worries. So let's look at what is a worry right at a high level. Lack of confidence that comes in the way of the ability to face or solve physical or mental problems. There is a problem and you are not confident that you'll be able to handle the situation or you'll be able to handle the problem. So that is a worry. Worries are born when desires are not fulfilled or when anger fails to find expression. So worries when you have something to achieve, you want something, but it is not getting fulfilled for whatever reasons. Or you are not happy with something, you have an anger, but the situation doesn't allow you to show your anger, right? Those are the situations you get worries. Worries are psychological problems. So physically there is a problem, but problems are always there, right? But worries is like it is a psychological problem. It will affect, it drains your energy. So a lot of people might think, okay, let me be worried for some time, then I'll focus on work. No, there is a problem with that, right? Worries drain energy, much like a pulley drawing water from a well. What happens is when you are in a worried state, you are losing a lot of energy. You will feel that, okay, after a stressful or like you had some worries, right? You would want to take a rest. Even though you were energetic some time back, now you cannot do much. Your energy is getting drained. That's why worries have to be avoided. Problems cannot be avoided. Problems have to be faced and solved. But worries, the mental state has to be avoided. Okay, let's look at from another angle. Reasons behind worries. Difference between expectations and reality. I think this is the major thing. And need/desires and resources. And one's own ideas and those of the others. So if you really look at it, it is all about the wrong calculations, right? You expect something. We all know that the reality could turn out anyways, right? But we assume that, okay, this is how it will happen. You do things according to that. And when the reality is different, and when it results in some loss or against your expectations, then you get into a worried state. This again, a wrong calculation. You have to be prepared for all the different situations. Needs and resources. Sometimes you desire more than what you have, right? Those have to be avoided. First, you need to work to get increase your resources so that your desires can be fulfilled. Just thinking that, oh, I have this desire, still having that desire and strong wish to fulfill that, when you don't have the right situation or the resources, eventually you'll not be able to do that, and that results in worry. And of course, one's own areas and those of the others, definitely this is a major thing, right? There is no way anyone including your spouse, children, any family members, friends, or co-workers. Nobody would be according to your expectations. Everybody is different. They approach these different things differently. They react to things differently. So a lot of times we have our own ideas that is how things have to be uh, happen when you make that assumption, and if things don't happen according to your thought process, and you get worried or getting angry, but you cannot express those anger, that definitely gets into worry state. But that has to be avoided. We have to understand that everybody is different. We just need to ensure that there is a common path, or do not really bother about some of those things, right? How others are doing it. You do your things and move forward. So fundamentally, reasons behind worries is wrong calculations. Obviously, awareness, right? When you do meditation, when you do introspection, you analyze things, at least from the whatever has happened, from your own experience. You try to understand where all things are wrong, and you have mental strength from meditation, then you can reduce the wrong calculation that you have been doing. Okay, we'll talk about that. There is a poem in Tamil. Not sure everybody, if everyone knows Tamil, but anyway, I'll read through this poem. கவலை என்பது உள்ளத்தின் கொடிய நோயா. Worry is it's a big disease of mind. கணக்கு தவறாய் எண்ணம் ஆற்றலாம். கவலை என்பது வாழ்வில் சிக்கல் கண்டு கலங்கி மனம் திகைப்படையும் நிலைமையாகும். When there is a problem, you are not able to, the mind is not confident enough to face the problem. That's worry. கவலை உடல் நலம் உள்ள நலம் கெடுக்கும். It affects your body and mind, and all the five senses are also affected. கவலையினை முயற்சி சிந்தனை இவற்றால் கடமையினை தேர்ந்தாற்றி வெற்றி கொள்வோம். So with good thought process, good planning, and good efforts, and taking care of your duties, you will be able to overcome the worries. So that's in a gist, this has given everything about the worry and how it has to be handled. But we'll talk about in detail about worry, why it happens, how do we avoid it. So we are looking at from different angle what is worry and why it happens, right? So let's try another angle, right? Mental states that aggravate worries. Incapability. Right? When you are not capable enough to face the situations that are coming in your life, right? That is that will definitely aggravate the worry. Lack of self-confidence. You are not confident enough. First of all, you don't have the ability. Second one is you are not confident enough that you will be able to do it, even though you might have the ability. And fear, right? So basically, it all boils down, right? You have incapability, then results in lack of self-confidence, then fear. So these are the signs of worries. You have physical problems, impurities in the mind, you are confused, confusion, problems in life. Eventually, this all translates to problems in life. Worries are mental traps. Reasons behind worries, right? Anger, vengeance, jealousy, hatred, greed, inordinate uh, desires, boastfulness, disdain, fear, power, grace. You want these are the different reasons for worry, right? When anger doesn't find expression, or you have hatred with somebody, that kind of like, and you have to handle that, right? So all this in greed, but you are not able to achieve what you want. So all these are reasons behind worries. But if you really look at all these the reasons, right? There are fundamentally to be avoided. All right, you can have desires, but it shouldn't become greed, right? You might want to correct the situation, but it doesn't mean that you have to get angry, right? So yeah, all this different mental state, right, which are all not the right mental state, will actually result in the worries. Ill effects of worries. When you are worried, even the efforts that you do, it doesn't find success, right? Along with that, your mental and physical strength, besides efforts, go waste. Fails to find success in life. A lot of other physical problems, headache, indigestion, blood pressure, peptic ulcers, breathlessness. So a lot of other things happens as well as part of worries. So when you are too worried all the time, you will see that your breath is you have to struggle to find a very deep breath. So this is an important point, right? Problems are different from worries. Problems are unavoidable in life. We are living in a society, everybody has their expectations, and uh, and uh, and definitely when you plan something to achieve something, uh, it does not go in the straight path. There will be some struggles, there will be issues, right? The problems are unavoidable in life. You are driving to a place, another place, it could be there was an accident that happened, and uh, your traffic is stopped, you might be delayed, right? So problems are unavoidable. There is no way we can avoid problems until we all live in a society life. Worries arise as problems affect the mind, right? When you are not able to handle the problem, that is when worries arise. You could have just told your office mates that you're going to be late for the meeting. These are the reasons. Just be done with it, right? People will understand. But if you think that, oh, I couldn't make to the meeting, it is my problem, and basically you're not handling it straight, then that results in worries. How do I go fast? It cannot happen. You have to, if there is a traffic problem, there is a traffic problem. You cannot handle, you cannot do anything about it, right? So worries arise as problems affect the mind. One should learn to solve problems, and then can lead a life free of problems, right? You should face the problems and solve it. Of course, new problems will come in, but you cannot just keep more problems which could get worse. Let's look at the different kind of things that could happen that would actually translate into worries. Okay. So before that, as the ability to think improves, problems can be avoided, right? You do when you do meditation, when you are having positive thoughts, um, when you are taking efforts to do things, right? Fundamentally efforts, right? When you are taking efforts to do things, then you spend time on planning, right? Okay, these are the things I'm going to do. This is my current situation. This is what I'm going to do, right? So planning and awareness. Awareness is the current situation, awareness, situation awareness, or your capability awareness, your mental state, being aware of things, right? Why this happens, that happens, right? So awareness and introspection, analyzing, okay, what is happening, right? So planning, awareness, and introspection will improve your ability to think. Uh, then automatically that helps in solving the problems. So this is a very good slide. So essential for eradicating worries, knowledge regarding the laws of nature. Right? You know, there are laws of nature or the society laws. We have to be aware of it. And that way you do not do any wrong calculations. And awareness regarding the principles of cause and effect. So if you are delaying something, doing something, it would result in fine, or it would result in, this could be the problems. We have to be aware of it. We shouldn't just follow our minds, push and delay things, right? So we have to be aware of cause and effect. Improvement in thinking abilities. We should definitely do things to improve our thinking abilities. You have to study. If you have to study, you have to do meditate, or take time to relax and think through what is happening, right? Automatically that improves your thinking ability. Just not thinking about different things that are happening, just like every time react to things, that is going to reduce your thinking ability. It will aggravate the problem. So you have to improve your thinking ability. Meditation, of course, helps. Introspection helps. Self-confidence. Yeah, you have to be confident that everybody has the capabilities. As long as you have the skills and efforts, you should be able to handle any problem. So self-confidence has to be there. Self-confidence, courage, right? You have to be, you need to have that courage. A lot of times something comes, you just go down, right? So you don't do that. You need to have the courage to do it. And very important thing, unstinting efforts. A lot of times solving the problems or success, not achieving success, all because of unstinting, not doing or not having the unstinting efforts. Means that you are not continuously taking efforts in achieving what you want. We do some things, then we go back to our old state, not doing anything, then you go, so then you are not able to achieve anything. So there has to be constant efforts. We take bath daily. We eat 3 times a day, right? Yeah, take bath daily, it depends. But we eat daily, right? So there are certain things we do regularly which are critical. Similarly, the efforts that you make, it has to be constantly, you have to make. That is how you will cross the different obstacles and achieve what you want. Then when you are able to achieve something, then automatically worries will be gone. Not taking the efforts is the major reason. Not planning and not taking the efforts in achieving the things is the major reason for the worry. Of course, not everything can be solved by taking efforts, right? Yeah. So we will also look at where do you need to take efforts, what you have to just, okay, nothing can be done, just move on, right? So having that awareness. So we will look at those as well. To avoid worries, avoid magnifying problems. If you are in a problem, if there is a way to get out, right? I mean, now, I don't know, if somebody is in the stock market, you know that the stock market is going down. You have to be aware that it is going to go down. If you want to get out of your positions, get out. Or if you think that eventually stock market will come up, I will not be bothered about, just stay there, right? And don't make me pay the problems. Oh, all my everything, whatever I saved is going to go gone, right? No, that's not good. So avoid magnifying the problems. And next one is very important. Avoid interfering in others' affairs. This is an important thing. Irrespective of the other person is doing wrong or not doing according to your expectations, you do not interfere in their affairs. So you can suggest some things, like if you're very they're close to you, like your spouse, your kids, you can correct them to in a polite way, or like, of course, with the kids you need to show some at least show anger, not really be angry, to correct them, but do not too much interfere into others' affairs, specifically leave the family, others as well, right? There could be a lot of people who will be doing different way, different things. Unless otherwise needed, you do not interfere. Nature will take its own course. It is not your responsibility in interfering in others' affairs and providing comments or trying to give justice or whatever. That's not your thing. So this is a very important thing, so that you don't your thinking or your time is not wasted. Okay, avoid interfering or providing comments in to others' affairs. And not to avoid responsibilities. This is very important, right? Yeah, I mean, a lot of us, right, we get into the habit of procrastination, right? Delaying things, or just leave it. Okay, let's see what happens. Whatever reasons, right? Like because of our routine work or whatever reason. So we sometimes avoid the responsibilities. If you need to respond to somebody's message, respond to it. If you need to do something, do it, right? Do not take too much responsibility at the same time, whatever responsibilities that you have, not to avoid it. So that's very important. Do not avoid other responsibilities, and do not interfere in others' affairs, and don't magnify the problems. Automatically, everything will be good. By being in worried state, you are not really achieving anything. Duty consciousness is different from worries. Duty consciousness is, you know that these are my responsibilities. You plan to do those things. That is duty consciousness. Worry is, oh, whether I will be able to do it. If you don't do it, this will happen. That's not a good state. Duty consciousness is being aware of your responsibility and doing it. That is fine. But worry is, it does not really help you. It drains away your energy, and it affects every progress, on spiritual progress, any other progress, that anything that you are working on, it will affect those progress as well. Problems should not be ignored for the sake of avoiding worries. There are some things you do not even want to get in, some problems, right? Because that might get into more issues to avoid worries. But problems should not be ignored. You have to face it. Four type of worries. So this is an important part. Let us understand the four type of worries, right? There are problems. There are four type of things that could result in worries, right? Four type of different problems. Problems to be faced. Chronic ailments. There's nothing that can be maybe done, right? Maybe you can take some medicines, you can take efforts, but there are some ailments which cannot be solved, you have to face it. Death, cyclone, floods, right? Natural disasters. If it comes, you have to face it. Problems to be kept in abeyance, or just you be aware of that there is this has to be handled, but do not like constantly think about it or worry about it, right? Maybe it's a study of your kids or employment or marriage, right? So those will happen, right? It will happen in time, right? You cannot say that it has to happen by this time, right? So you have to be aware of those problems, but you cannot be. You have to know that it cannot be just solved by yourself, and just wait for time to take care of those. And there are problems to be ignored, right? Others' comments, somebody jealous remarks or actions, right? Those have to be ignored. If you take too seriously, then it takes away your time and energy. And this is important, right? Problems to be solved immediately. So if you have any debts to be settled, any physical problems that needs immediate action, there is a family conflict, partition of property, do those things immediately. Delaying it will make the situation worse. So different things, what we looked at it, problems to be faced, nothing can be done, problems to be kept in abeyance, wait for the time to take care of those, but efforts, right? You have to be aware that this have to be accomplished, but you take efforts, but don't be worried that it is not getting addressed immediately. And problems to be ignored, like others' comments, jealous remarks, and problems to be solved immediately. Any physical ailments, debt, family problems, right? Those have to be solved immediately, otherwise they will get worse. So if you have a worry, you will have to classify them into the following manner: problems to be faced, problems to be kept in abeyance, problems to be ignored, problems to be solved immediately. Yeah. Problems to be faced are those that have to be accepted despite the manner in which they affect our lives. Somebody's death, close to ours, we have to face it. There is nothing that can be done. We have to move on. Problems to be kept in abeyance are those that can be postponed or do not require immediate attention. You take efforts, but you cannot do much about it, right? Your employment or whatever is needed, right? So you continue to take the efforts that you need to do, but time will take care of those. But do not be worried about those. Problems to be ignored are those that get solved by themselves in time. Problems that have to be solved immediately are those that call for immediate attention. Delay can bring further problems, like debt. Okay, now you are going into one level deeper. Study the problem with regard to its nature, reason, without being overwhelmed by it. We have to be aware that not everything can be fully solved. Sometimes you have to accept, some part has to be accepted, some you can solve it. Then you come to a state, okay, this is the balance I would maintain, right? So then move on. Study the problem with regard to its nature and reason, right? Why are we having it? Is it because of my anger, my greed, or whatever is the reason, right? Yeah, we have to study the problems. trying to avoid problems, it's itself a problem. Problems cannot be avoided. We can take different problems, right? Let's say poverty, debt, you do not have enough strong financial situation, right? So you take efforts, right? You take efforts to earn money, as well as you have a simple existence. You do not spend too much. That's the only way to approach. You continue to spend more, then you will have further problems. Your debts will increase. It's an example, right? Similarly, disease. You have a disease, you have a discipline, have a proper discipline, do proper corresponding exercise, and take medication. Right? That's the way to solve it. Difference of opinion, right? And difference of opinion definitely happens. And ascertain the reason why it happens. Adjust. As we said, there is no way that everybody will be according to our expectations. Everybody has a different way to express themselves, different ways to approach different situations, and which could be different from what you are. So make some adjustment. Sometimes if it is too deviating from what you think is right, explain and go from there. Do not force and do not get into conflicts. Yeah, greed and jealousy, right? Like gambling. You think that you can, your greed, you want to get more in a quick time. You actually lose what you have, right? So you need to take efforts in the proper ways to achieve what you want, right? Do not take wrong paths. So we have to be aware of the consequences. So this will get into the worried state, right? You have a greed, so you get into the risky ventures, which says that I will give you a lot of profits. A lot of times we end up losing things. And yeah, so we have to be aware of the nature and the consequences. And you can take risk. You take risk for very little amount, right? Little pot. So because sometimes risk provides a lot of high results. So you take what is the risk that you can take, right? You have to be well planned. It cannot be like just your mind thinks that, oh, this is a nice thing. They are giving a lot of promises. You cannot put everything that you have in those. So you have to be aware of your nature and aware of the consequences and plan and act accordingly. Yeah, wealth, fame, prestige, right? It has to come through proper service and virtuous existence. There is no shortcut for those. If you try to follow the shortcut, uh, go against the nature's principles, then you might get into more issues, and that results in worries. So fundamentally, avoid wrong calculations, have proper planning, and do not avoid your responsibilities, and take continuous efforts. Of course, doing meditation and introspections will improve the thinking abilities to do all these things. If you do not have proper state of mind, there is no way you can approach the problem. You can handle the problems in a solid way. Yeah, when you are in an emotional state of mind, problems multiply or get magnified. So those are the people, they are great ones, right? Who remain above the turbulent waters of problems, allowing them to rise and disappear in time. I do not, you try to solve the problems, but do not be too worried about the problems. Then it will affect you. Okay. So eradication of worries practice, right? So the problems, when your mind is not confident enough to face, that becomes worries, right? So you write down your worries or the problems, and categorize by to be faced, to be kept. Just keep it, right? Abeyance or the postpone it, but continue to take the efforts, to be ignored, to be solved immediately, then act accordingly, right? So if you are right now in a worried state, I mean, we all have to be aware that not everything can be solved immediately. Sometimes you may not be able to get a solution for some of your problems. Maybe some of the relationship problem, some of the financial problem. You have to constantly work on it. It's not like one time you think you have a solution, all right? You constantly improve upon. But you can, a lot of other things can be really addressed very quickly. So you list down what are the things worry is coming in your mind, and categorize it and act on it. Planning is the key. So without planning, just acting on as and when some things come to your mind, it works, but eventually some things would be missed, and that get worse as well, right? So yeah, you have to be well planned in achieving, in doing things. Yeah. So a lot of times the problems are not new, right? It's the same problems again and again, most times, right? And see how they were resolved earlier, what kind of things happened. So that should give you an idea how you approach that problem, and how do you solve that problem, right? And act to solve problem that require immediate attention. Definitely act on it immediately, and take care of the others according to their priorities. There are other problems, you take care of it according to the priorities. Natural set of our existence is happiness, right? But so automatically, when you remove the problems, when you remove the worries, what is left in you is happiness. So this is a poem from Maharishi. வந்த துன்பம் ஏற்று சகித்து அவற்றை போக்க வழி கண்டு முறையோடு ஆற்று இன்பம் காத்து எந்த துன்பம் வரினும் எதிர்நோக்கி நிற்பாயில் இன்பமே மிகுதிப்படும் துன்பங்கள் தோல்வியுறும். This is like confidence, right? Any struggles or problems come in your way, you are in this world, you are living in a society, definitely there is going to be a problem. The existence itself is like it's a net, right? You are going to be in a problem, that the situations are going to be there, right? But as and when problem comes, do the actions that have to be done to address those automatically will keep the pleasure in you, or the happiness within you, right? When you remove the problems, automatically the happiness is the one that stays. Whatever problems that come in, face it directly. If you can face it, okay, problems will come. And of course, when you are doing the same problems again and again without being aware of it, that is when you get really mentally tired and you feel guilty. That's why it is important to constantly being aware of your actions, doing meditation, right? Then at least you will not repeat the problems. When a new problem comes in, right, you will be confident, okay, this is the situation, that's not I did not have a chance to act on it earlier. Let it come, let me face it, address it. But if you are making the same mistakes again and again, that is when you feel tired and you feel guilty and all, right? So be aware and correct the mistakes, at least like whatever mistakes that you've been doing, right? Correct those. New things, when it comes, you will be confident, and then eventually the happiness stays, and the worries will go away. He who is a Kundalini yogi, he or she who is a Kundalini yogi, has realized his or her higher self, the divine state, lives in accordance with the tenets of morality, duty, and charity. Practicing the art of Manavalakkalai has no reason to face worries. Okay, and there is so before going to the Kural, so any Kundalini yogi lives according to the tenets of morality, duty, and charity, right? There has to be morality. You do not cause problems to self or others now or in the future, and try to help others who are in trouble, right? So that's morality. And duty is whatever duty that you need to achieve, right? You need to do it for yourself, your family, society, and everything. Then charity, whatever excess you have, you give some part to it. So when you do all these things, automatically there is no reason to face worries at all. That's from Agresi, from Thiruvalluvar Kural. They alone escape the anxieties of mind who seek refuge in the peerless one. Right, when you are connected to the divine state, automatically the anxieties of mind will not be there. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Any questions? Anyone? In the approach, we talked about awareness. We talked about different things. Any questions about the worries, its nature, how you approach it, and what needs to be done to increase our capabilities and self-confidence to handle the problems and avoid worries? If you have any questions, we can discuss. All good. Anybody, any comments? Karthikeyanaya, Sithalamaya, Anitama. Anything that you want to talk about, or anything that you want to add from your experience?
Be blessed by the divine Ayya. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Ayya. Every time when I hear each and every of our introspection sessions and topics, what our Guru has given us, is giving me to giving me or pushing me to get my best. To think more and more that still I need practice. which our guru always says that practice is the best way to sculpt ourselves. Thank you so much, Aya. And the one experience what I would try to give and just tell everybody is like all our aspirants is we have got this wonderful system, sky system. So when I started realizing I was not able to, start practicing myself or do it. Like I found it so hard during my beginning days. But now, like after every day of practice and every day of introspection doesn't end until our end of our life. It's like moment to moment, even second to second. We have to try think about the things what we did and what we're doing and what we will do. I think unknowingly or by default, when we start practicing, we try to bend ourselves. So at one state, I used to think, okay, I'm been listening to everybody, but nobody's listening to me, right? So why should I bend myself? That was my thinking before our starting our Christ Sky practice. But after that, it is like the divine state has given us the capability to bend or to realize what is going on, and I've got more confidence to uh, every day by thinking my our thing, as you said, Ayat, our thinking is more powerful. Like if we just sit and start worrying about the activities which happen today, we might not be able to overcome the future in a better way. Yes, days would go, every day passes and every minute is being, the clock has been ticking every seconds and minutes, right? But after doing introspection every day, I'm been trying to pat myself saying, okay, you did this, now you know that you should not have done this activity, so better learn from your mistakes. One simple thing I would say is like early when kids say something, I would say like, can you not say this, like that? But now sometimes kids also say, mommy, there might be something which which has to be taken from our words too. But now, like I listen to everybody and see, okay, if is this good or not. So that practice has been come within myself. Thank you so much, Aya. Thank you for our guru to Guru Pugal Valga Guruve Tuni Valga Valamudan. Be blessed by the divine. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah.
Thank you, Amma. Be blessed by the event. Thanks for sharing your experience. Anyone else? I think we need to, there is another session at 9 o'clock. If there is nothing else, we can conclude our session with the blessings for the world. Okay, let's conclude the session with the blessings for the world. Stop sharing.